Hey Questers, and welcome to another episode of BMF, the unofficial home for all things Oculus Quest. Today we're taking a short break from Questober to take a look at all of the Oculus Go and VR games that you'll be able to play on the Quest with the launch of Go emulation. This is going to be a rapid-fire list with a quick overview of what the game is, with some footage and maybe a thought or two. So let's jack in and check out these games. First on the list is 3C Wonderland Coaster, which is a colorful on-rails shooter where you shoot at balloons, candy, and enemies. This game is a combination roller coaster and on-rails shooter game with a very kid-friendly aesthetic. Personally, not my kind of game, but who knows, maybe it's fun. Next on the list is A Night Sky by Coatsink, the creators of Shadowpoint. This game is about relaxing and looking at the stars and creatures. By forming patterns among the stars, you can unlock new creatures that will be brought to life. I actually want to check this game out as it looks quite relaxing. Next up is Ace Phantom, a 360-degree air combat game where you pilot a jet fighter to blast the enemies out of the sky from a third-person perspective. I'm not generally a huge third-person fan for flight games, but it looks like it could be some crazy action. We have another flight combat game up next in Air Combat, the World War II third-person flying game where you'll dogfight against other World War II planes. I would be wary of this game though, only because it has such a low rating on the store. Next up we have Angst, which is a story-driven game where you play as a cosmonaut dealing with his perception of reality slipping away. This game looks very interesting to me, and I think I may just have to check it out. Next up we have Art Plunge, which I personally am really looking forward to. In this experience, you can enter 5 famous paintings, and it really looks like a lot of fun. If you're a history lover and always wanted to visit Athens, then this next experience will give you that chance. Athens in VR is an incredible recreation of Athens, and it's amazing to take a virtual tour into its famous locations. Next is Bathroom Shooting Game, which is essentially a bunch of rubber duckies that you shoot at, so kids may like it, but I probably won't jump in. Battle of Kings VR Mobile is an RTS game, which is great because the Quest is really missing out with the lack of RTS games. I think I may just pick this one up just so I have an RTS game in my library for when I'm in the mood. Coaster is a roller coaster simulator with very unique environments from space to a picnic coaster from the point of view of a bee. There are 4 different coasters you can choose from to experience. I'm not really a huge coaster simulator fan, but if you are, then this may be worth a look. Cube Run VR is a running game in the vein of Subway Surfers or Temple Run, but in the first person, and with a visual style that reminds me of Minecraft. If you've been looking for a game like this, then it seems like it'd be pretty fun. In Drift, you play as a bullet, and you have to dodge obstacles until you can reach your target. It has a simplistic art style, but the concept sounds very interesting, and it has a lot of great reviews. Next up is one of the best and highest rated games on the list, which is no surprise considering the creators of Red Matter are behind it. Daedalus is a first-person puzzle game that you just have to check out. It's an awesome game altogether. Next is Darknet, a strategy puzzle game where you play as a hacker trying to steal data using viruses and exploits. Not sure about this one as it sounds interesting, but I'm not so sure about the gameplay just by looking at it. Dead Body Falls is a story-driven game where you witness a disturbing event at a hotel from various perspectives to try to uncover what has happened. It looks like it could be a great game for this time of year, and I'm curious now to see exactly what happened. Death Horizon is the next game on our list. A brand new version of Death Horizon was just released on the Quest last week, but if you want to check out the Go version of this game, that'll be supported as well. I just did a review of the Quest version, which you can check out in the description. Next up is a virtual reality meditation simulator called Deepak Chopra, Finding Your True Self. Not my kind of thing, but hey, if you're interested, you can check it out. Don't Look Away is next on our list, and this is a horror psychological game where you're strapped to a chair trying to figure out the mystery of the room. Looks like it could be pretty creepy, which means I may not check it out. Escape Now the Icons is a virtual journey that takes you all over the world. This isn't so much a game as a 360 video that runs about 30 minutes long and takes you from places like Italy to New York City. Free Fighter is another third-person space-flying combat game where you take on enemy ships. Not really sure what else to say about it, so there it is, and moving on. Next up, we have an interesting combination of a game in Fear Incarnate. This game is an endless runner but will scare the crap out of you. The goal is to keep running and avoiding the traps. To be honest, it looks creepy, and I already hate the idea of running away from something, so I think I will skip it. Next, we have another roller coaster simulator in Fear's Nightmare Roller Coaster, except this one is horror-themed. Might be a good thrill for those looking for a coaster game with some scary elements. Now we jump from horror to calm and peaceful. Forest of Serenity is an experience where you get to visit a beautiful exotic location and listen to Sir David Attenborough talk about the different birds and plants. What could be more relaxing than that? Gamer's Generation is a short game where the goal is to search in the room to find all 50 of the game references in the shortest amount of time. If you like nostalgic things, then this may be something to look at. Up next is Hidden Fortune, an adventure treasure game where you look for new treasure in an enchanted world using magic and other elements. It looks like you use wands and magic to solve puzzles to find the treasure. Next up is House of Terror. Anyone else noticing a trend of a lot of horror games? In this game, you explore an environment full of traps and monsters as you try to solve the puzzles and search for clues. Yet another game I probably won't be playing. Human Anatomy VR pops up next on the list. This experience is an educational VR look at the human body. In Our Boots puts you into the boots of a United States soldier. In this experience, there are 4 different missions you can choose from, although this is not really a game, but a 360 video experience. Next up is a visual novel called Innocent Forest, The Bird of Light. Like I said, this is a visual novel, so you'll be watching the events unfold more than actually playing, but you do get to experience everything from the perspective of an individual in the story. Next is an experience called Introduction to Virtual Reality, and it's really just a collection of 360 videos and VR experiences for those new to VR to check out. Next on the list is Land's End, an adventure puzzle game that doesn't actually use a controller, but uses your gaze to complete the puzzles and explore the environment. It has gotten a lot of good reviews, and it looks like it could be fun, so I may have to give it a go. MEL Chemistry VR Lessons is a chemistry lesson course designed to be an immersive way to study chemistry using scientific games. It looks interesting if you need something like it, and I personally think that learning in VR is the future anyways. Next, Masterworks Journey Through History is a 360-degree journey across 3 continents to discover over 3,000 years of human history. As a huge history buff, I really do want to check this experience out. Next up, Metatable Poker is another poker game. There are a few things that make this unique, like the ability to rent private tables for your friends, but overall we already have 2 poker games for the Quest, so I'm not really sure if this will be worth checking out. My Virtual Pet VR is like the modern version of the Tamagotchi, which some of you may be too young to remember. In this game, you take care of your dino so that it grows healthy, and you can even battle against other pet dinos. Our Solar System is another educational VR experience with 5 lessons that cover various aspects of space and our solar system. Paint VR is a painting app that allows you to create art in VR. We already have a few other art experiences on the Quest, and this one doesn't really seem to stand out, so I'm not sure if it'll be worth checking out or not. In Pirate Shooter, you defend your treasure by shooting cannonballs at pirate ships. Kind of a very basic wave shooter with some different locations and some upgrades. Play With Me is yet another scary experience in which you wake up in an empty house and explore the house. The cover photo alone makes me not want to try it. Power Hitter is a simple and cartoonish baseball simulator, but with the ratings in the store, I would do some more research on it before jumping into it. Next up, Pyramid Roller Coaster is another roller coaster experience, except this time it takes place in Egypt. Seems like there are a lot of these coaster sims. Next, we have Relix VR, which is yet another coaster experience that sends you to different and unique locations. And yet again, we have another roller coaster experience, Roller Coaster Legends. This experience takes place in Greek mythology. Next is Sonar, a 6-minute long, 360-degree sci-fi video experience. It looks interesting and it's won some awards and gotten a lot of good reviews. Next, we have Salvo Go, which is essentially Battleship, the board game in VR. I actually want to try this as I'm a big fan of the original board game and the environments look pretty interesting. Sea Hero Quest is all about navigation. The goal is to navigate the waters and search for mysterious creatures. The interesting thing about this game is that it actually is being used to collect data to help with dementia. So as you play, the system collects data on how you navigate the game to help fight against dementia and find a cure. Sisters, a VR ghost story, is a 3D animated experience that puts you into a scary story. Yet again, more horror, which some people will be very happy about. Skyfighter Training Day is the free training mission for the game Skyfighter, in which you learn to use your Skyfighter armor. It actually kind of reminds me of Iron Man in a way. Solar System is another space VR experience that allows you to experience and explore our solar system. Like many other apps on this list, though, this is more of a video than a game. Space Dodge 2 is another third-person spaceflight game in which you fly a spaceship, avoiding obstacles and shooting at enemies. Sphere Toon is a VR comic reader for a few different Japanese comics. Tactera is another RTS game, but this time it takes place on a virtual tabletop, inside of a futuristic war room. It has very simplistic battle graphics, but it looks like another option for RTS fans, and it has a really high rating on the store. The Mist Spaceflight puts you into the cockpit of a 1978 Polish spaceflight. It's a 3D rendered recreation of the events, and it looks like it could be very interesting. Another game on the list by CoatSync, They Suspect Nothing, is a crazy game game filled with 20 mini-games. The goal is to remain undetected as the last human in a robot world by completing crazy human detection tests. This one actually looks really funny, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. And here we have yet another roller coaster experience, Thrill Roller Coasters. I really don't have anything against coasters, but good grief, there are a lot of them. This next game actually looks quite fun. Toy Clash is a strategic tower offense game where you command toys to attack your enemy's tower. The setting just looks fun, and I think it's very unique overall. Track Slash is pretty much a knockoff of Beat Saber, but for the Go. It is what it is, but I would rather play Beat Saber or even the free online web VR version. In Turkey Hunt, you fight against the Turkey Apocalypse, using various guns to stop the advancing turkey targets. With different locations, weapons, and targets, it looks like it could be fun for kids or just someone looking for some wacky fun. The USAF Special Ops experience is a 360-degree video that puts you in the shoes of U.S. Air Force members completing training missions. Just like the previous military experience, this one is also just a video series. Underworld Overlord puts you in charge of defending your dungeon from heroes by laying traps, casting spells, and using monsters. It kind of flips the whole dungeon crawler concept on its head, and just because of that, I'm curious to check it out. VR Basketball has you shooting hoops to see how many you can make in the time given. If you're desperately in need of a VR basketball game, then this might be something to look at, but it's a very simple game. VR Rally is a third-person rally kart driving game. It looks like it could be interesting, but it's not super highly rated, so I would do some more research, although it is just $1.99. Welcome to Virtual Reality is like a sampling of different VR experiences, and it's actually not a bad experience at all. For free, I would definitely check it out. Wheel Rush is an endless space racer that has you dodging obstacles on a monocycle. And finally on our list is Wonders of the World. In this experience, you'll be able to see 3 of the world's wonders by traveling to different periods of time in history. Again, as a history buff, I might just check this one out. Holy crap, what a long list. Are there any games on this list you plan on grabbing or that you've played on the go and are looking forward to trying on the Quest? Let me know in the comments. If you want to get the most out of your Quest and the best bang for your buck, then subscribe to BMF for more Quest-related content and hit that bell icon. Plus, if you're looking for more Quest content, you can check out my other videos here and here. Thanks so much for watching, and happy questing.